Hello and welcome to Animal Watch, and this week we're learning how to turn little puppies into model citizen dogs. Look at him.
Wolf dogs often do not have a great reputation in the media, usually for the wrong reasons, but let's address these issues. People think that they are destructive, nervous, aggressive, disobedient, self-serving and independent. Today, Animal Watch meets two amazing wolf dog experts, Natalie Lagstrom of Watermill Film and Acting Wolves, and former paratrooper and animal warden, Chadde JoliCeour from the first 508th Airborne YouTube Channel. Both our experts say that they can train and turn around wolf dog pups to be sociable and model citizens. Chadde even suggests his can become super soldiers with his methods. Don't turn off, as this episode is going to be super educational and eye-opening. Now, depending on the upbringing, certain wolf dog character traits can show their ugly face. Nervousness being a major one, followed by independence and not obeying. Why is this? Well, the higher the wolf content, the more independent the animal becomes. Wolves are wild animals, perfectly equipped to survive and think for themselves, whereas dogs have been bred over the years to be super obedient and subservient to humans. Wolves also have a natural fear of humans, which has kept them safe in the wild. But once they are living alongside us, we need to recognise that these traits often come out in the puppies. Today, Animal Watch is meeting two top dog experts who say that their methods can really help shape the character of your wolf dog puppy and help to quash these nerves and attitudes which can make them harder to train than the usual dog. Natalie Lagstrom, whose incredible film wolf dogs have been trained to work well on film sets. To do this, she must work with them to remove nervousness so they can be brave on set and follow commands without running away. This starts early, so today she will be showing the basic things that we need to do when we have a litter of wolf dogs born under our roof. What we must do from birth to 2 weeks of age. We will then be meeting ex-paratrooper Chadde, who has been using some unbelievable methods called early neurological stimulation, which he claims can help remove fear from wolf dogs early on by gently making them experience small amounts of discomfort from a day after their birth onwards.
Hi, I'm Natalie from Watermill Wolves Wolf Dogs, and we raise and train wolf dogs for education and acting purposes.
Well guys, look what we've got today. Baby wolf dog puppies. What we felt today, didn't we, Natalie, that it would be very, very important to make an episode about the correct way of raising puppies, because lots of people make mistakes and it can cost a dog even its life. These puppies here, Natalie, are 2 weeks old, aren't they?
Yeah.
What are they?
So they're about 50% wolf content, multi-generational, of course. The rest, there's some sled and some shepherd ancestry in there as well.
The parents are absolutely beautiful. We've got Alice behind us over there, that's Mummy. And we've got the beautiful Frosty Bear outside. He is ridiculously gorgeous. We're going to go through a few bullet points, aren't we, Natalie, for puppies of this age.
Number 1. Cuddling and handling.
So the first thing is we just want them relaxed and comfortable. Obviously in the wild, things could be picking them up if they're going to be eating them or stealing them from the den. So this idea that teaching them that you're being picked up and that's not a big thing, people are interfering with you, that's no big deal. So I like to pick them up, making sure I'm supporting them. So it's a good idea. You can see I'm cradling the body quite a lot. I'm around the head, giving that head a little bit of support.
Yeah.
Only once they're really comfortable in a way with what we're doing, then we can start to get them used to the weirder things that people do and getting them a little bit more malleable. You don't want an intractable puppy. So just making sure that they're used to being fussed while they're asleep and disturbed for something nice rather than just being disturbed when there's something going wrong. The other thing is just basic things, they're going to need to have their toenails trimmed, that sort of thing. So at this age, making sure that you practice holding their feet, spreading their toes, getting them used to all these sort of things that they're going to need as part of their general care. When they're at the age when they wouldn't really be leaving the den, that's the age to really get people involved. At that age, people become the familiar. You're no different to them in a way than their mum. If I've been sat in the puppy pen a lot with them, then humans are not strangers. They're not an alien species to them.
Number 2, making sure the puppy sees and hears the noises of the house.
When they're first opening their eyes, they don't really know what it is they're seeing. They need to see a lot of things happening around them in order to make those connections. So that's at the age when they need to start to have some toys, and they're starting to learn how they can interact and impact the world.
I think a common mistake somebody might make is thinking when their dog is about to have babies is to put them into a really quiet room, because they think as a human you would like to have peace and quiet and you want people to leave you alone. But then actually that's probably not the best thing to do.
So what we tend to do here is when mum's actually giving birth, she wants her own space, and that's quite understandable. That'd be a very vulnerable time for them naturally. For example, Alice went into my quiet bedroom and she gave birth on my memory foam mattress. And she stayed in there in the puppy pod for a couple of days while the puppies got strong, while she personally bonded with them. She had that private time. But after those first couple of days, the puppy pod actually came out into the lounge here. So there's a lot more going on. So from very early on, those babies, just starting to get used to family life.
Number 3, medical treatments.
Their immune systems are very, very weak, so they can catch worms very easily, and they can actually get worms from their mother's milk. So it's important that before the mothers get pregnant, that they're properly wormed and have a parasite treatment. The babies actually have special wormer that's for puppies, obviously, not your grown-up big worming tablets.
Because it can be quite poisonous, can't it?
Exactly. Yeah. You've got to get wormer that's safe for babies, and they need to have that in a very regular schedule. If they don't, that can be really quite damaging to their growth.
And also, we were talking briefly before about nails and other things like that, just simply so they get used to being touched. Is there anything else that they need to
A lot of it is about not just being touched, but being still when held. So that actually this idea that if I hold you still and I hold your paw still, I don't want you to move. What I might do is I might hold you and I might check your ear, and I just want you to be still for a moment, and I might lift your lips and have a look in your mouth, and that's no big deal. So it's about thinking about all those things that they're going to have to experience in the vets and starting to get them used to those sort of things.
So this one is just completely fallen asleep here, look.
Number 4, mum. How to look after her.
Obviously at 2 weeks of age, they're getting to the point where they're quite demanding, starting to get more demanding on her. They want to feed a lot.
So the very first thing obviously is to have a loving and trusting relationship with the mum. It's important for mum that she can get in and out, but the babies can't. So we've got a little setup here that's actually got an extra step at the side so that Alice can climb in when she wants, but that she can also go when she wants if you decide you've had enough, little one.
So when we talk about puppy farming and we see these most appalling conditions where dogs are locked away in cages, matted fur, mum can't get away from babies, they're draining her, aren't they, pretty much?
There's two sides to that, and that is, yes, that poor mums are trapped there, there's no escape, they are being drained, as you say, by the babies, but the other thing is there'll then come a point where they're often suddenly weaned. So the breeder will just suddenly take mum out and that's that. And that as well can be very traumatic for the babies. It can increase the chances of them having separation anxiety. It's something that actually can make them a little bit naughtier later on.
They need that discipline from mum, don't they?
They need mum saying no. The milk bar is closed. That's a very important life lesson for them to learn. So if mum has got the space to wean naturally, It's a much more gradual process, and it's something that they learn to accept rather than have forced upon them.
There was one case at the Cotswold Wildlife Park in the UK where a wolf escaped, a female wolf, and she had babies in there. She couldn't cope, so she sort of jumped out of the wall to get away, and sadly was shot because she went near a motorway. That is a rather drastic example, but it's an example to just show that the female of the species, including humans, sometimes need a little bit of space. So you can't trap the mum in there with the babies. You need to allow her to come and go.
Number 5. Human bottle feeding versus natural mum's milk.
There are some breeders who have believed that bottle raising the baby without mum is the way to create highly confident puppies. Because the really high content wolves can be very nervous of people. The bottle feeding does take away the fear, but of course it also can increase bad behaviour.
I think it's important to bear in mind that there's no magic socialisation bullet, and every method that you choose is going to have its cons as well as its pros. From the point of view of bottle rearing, one of the things that it's important to bear in mind is that virtually every bottle reared animal of whatever species essentially develops what I call spoilt brat syndrome. They don't have that natural weaning process for a start, so they don't have that, nope, the milk bar is closed. They often do tend to be confident almost to a fault with their caregivers.
When you've got mum doing the work for you, she'll be telling the puppies off constantly, and it'll be behaviour that sometimes we won't notice because we're humans. Whereas with bottle feeding, you just give them the bottle and then cuddles, give them the bottle and cuddles. When do they really get disciplined?
It's harder. It's harder. I think you can get the balance, but it's not so easy. Mother's milk is ultimately always going to be the best. It's evolved over millions of years to be nutritionally the absolute best thing for them. You find that the very experienced people who've got the really good bottle milk formulas, those puppies will develop fantastically. There have been cases where amateur people have tried to bottle rear, and you can even end up in scenarios where the puppies become hairless because they're actually nutritionally very deficient, and that has happened in the past, and their skeletons haven't developed properly, they haven't been able to stand
that's
properly.
appalling.
And there have been cases of that where that's been reported.
Now, the great thing about Natalie's techniques is that any breed of dog can be raised using her methods. If more breeders were to do this, then I am sure less puppies would be returned when people are unable to cope with behavioural problems. Now, a more extreme and more in-depth method that some breeders use is called early neurological stimulation. Chadde JoliCeour of First 508th Airborne YouTube Channel and the creator of the wolfdog breed, the Lycan Shepherd, swears by these methods, where he says he can create the perfect puppy by allowing him or her to experience light amounts of discomfort from early on in their life. Early neurological stimulation has been proposed by experts to enhance the natural abilities of dogs. This kind of stimulation involves subjecting pups aged between 3 and 16 days to mild forms of stimulation, leading to stress, and is said to lead to faster maturity and better problem-solving abilities later in life. This can be simply turning them upside down for a short period of time, to placing cold items on their feet. Chadde recently raised a litter of Lycan Shepherds and documented his early stimulation on his YouTube channel. Here are the highlights showing his methods with his newborn litter.
Now the 5 exercises we're going to do with them. The first is going to be the tactile stimulation, and we're going to rub this Q-tip between the toes on one of her foot for 3 to 5 seconds. Now when we do these 5 exercises, we only do them for 3 to 5 seconds. This is one of those situations where too much is not a good thing. And overstimulation of this kind of stuff can be harmful. So again 3 to 5 seconds. It doesn't matter which foot you do it on. So we're gonna rub them between her toes. All right. The next exercise is we keep them in the head up position for 3 to 5 seconds. Then we're gonna put them in a head down position for 3 to 5 seconds. And then we're going to hold them on their back for 3 to 5 seconds. Now the final thing we're going to do is the thermal stimulation. This is a damp washcloth that was put in the fridge for 5 minutes. We're going to set them on it. If they crawl off within the 3 to 5 seconds, that's okay. So that's one puppy done.
A few weeks later, Chad demonstrates the results to his methods, and we can see how laid back the puppies are and really easy to handle.
Look how relaxed they are. Hold them upside down on the side. Again.
Now, if you would like to find out more about Chad and his dogs, you can find a link to his YouTube channel in the top corner. And if you would like to find out more about Natalie's wolf dogs and the work that they do, you can find her here at www.watermillwolves.co.uk.
And if you enjoyed this really cute and delightful episode of Animal Watch, then please be sure to give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel by clicking that button in the bottom hand corner, and be sure to tune in every week where I'll be bringing you some more amazing episodes on dogs, wolves, animal rescue and conservation. And it's bye from me and bye from this little sleepy boy. Bye.